Hello, everybody. Barb, Dunn, Affordable Infill Housing with Judith Rosenberg, and our special guest today is Kathie Sonner. Everybody had a good Memorial weekend?
Yes.
Yeah. Busy. It was nice to have that extra day.
Yeah. We've had some colder weather here where I'm at in Nashville, so it wasn't as fun and outdoorsy as it could have been, but it was good.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming, and then it'll be too hot, and then we'll be complaining about that. So, Kathie, tell us about yourself and what your zone of genius.
All right. Well, I live here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm originally a California native, came from Southern California. I was born in LA. Grew up between Washington and LA, went to school in Washington, summers in California. Went back to, after my children were born, I went back to Southern California in 2001 and raised my girls there and stayed there until about 5 years ago, came out to Nashville in 2025. So I'll try and keep it nutshell version, but I was very involved in real estate from 2001 to 2008, right? I was a multi-lender, so I signed loan documents for lenders in escrow. My husband, my previous relationship, he was a mortgage lender, direct lender, so I had that experience. And we ended up splitting up in like 2006. 2008 came, wiped out all 4 of our rental properties plus our personal residence. I got out by the skin of my teeth with a personal residence I purchased after we had separated. And that was mortifying to see your credit score literally go from 820 to like 500. It was like, oh, that just hurts, right? It just hurts. Yeah. And so moving on into the next, 10, 15 years, I was kind of real estate shy. You would say I wasn't really ready to jump back into doing anything there, but I did play with a couple businesses. I flipped a coffee stand in San Diego on Balboa, bought it for 15 grand. Sold it 11 months later for 35 grand with minimal value add. I just wanted to get an education on what it was like to run a brick and mortar with employees, overhead, cash flow, daily sales. I had never done a business such as that. So that really was just buying an education. I just happened to have the wherewithal to add a little value and then hike the sales price when I sold it. Mm-hmm. So that prepared me for a startup that I did in 2015. It is a hot yoga studio in Temecula, California. It's called Hot Yoga Healthy You. And I've had no formal education in this. I just have a lot of grit, and people have said I'm very brave. So I set out to open this yoga studio. We didn't have one in Temecula. I had to drive to San Diego to take hot yoga classes. And so I hired a mechanical engineer. I sourced the location, architect, GC, spent 6 months building it out, didn't market it at all. My daughter posted on Instagram for me. She created an Instagram account for me and put one post that there was a studio coming. And we opened our doors July 15th of 2015. And it was fantastic. Like that has been my heart and soul. It was such a great experience. It was super hard. It was scary and hard, and I loved every minute of it. I created a teacher training curriculum, got it approved with Yoga Alliance. We graduated over 100 new yoga teachers into the Temecula community. We just provided a really safe space for people to come and practice and feel at peace there. And so I exited that business about 3 years later. And my cash flow was such that I was able to ask for multiple 6 figures on the sale price, which I got. It is by far, like, it's been just, I wanted to know if I could do it, right?
Looks like you did it well.
I wanted to leave something of value for Temecula. And it is still there, celebrating their 10-year anniversary here in, probably about 8 weeks. And so then let's see, in 2020, my husband and I came out to Nashville. I decided I was interested a little bit in real estate again. I had bought a condominium in Green Hills here locally in 2019. My oldest daughter moved out here. She's a chiropractor in town, Evergreen Chiropractic, and she wanted to live in Green Hills. She couldn't afford any of the houses there. So I bought a condominium. She paid the mortgage on it. I wish I bought two in 2019.
Oh, yeah, natural.
However, she was able to buy her own house last year after 5 years in business. And so that is now a long-term rental for me. However, in 2020, when I got here, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of interested in real estate again. And I also knew that I wanted to do something a little different that satisfied the nurturer that's in me. And so I became a birth doula. I am a labor and delivery coach. So I do home birth, hospital birth. I'm OR certified to attend a C-section. And that just lined up perfectly. It aligned because my youngest daughter had my first grandbaby last summer. And her birthday, ironically, was July 15th. And that is the same date that I opened and also sold Hot Yoga Healthy You. Ironic. It was just a beautiful experience to be, first of all, to be honored with the invitation to be her doula, and then to be there and present when my granddaughter came into this world, born into a birth pool at 4:30 in the morning, born into the water, a little mermaid.
Oh,
I also,
that's a great story.
And also, I started getting, the bug for real estate. I was this Lone Ranger back in 2022, bought a house, thought I was just going to flip it like magic. It wasn't magical. It was one of my biggest lessons, right? It literally took me a couple of years to get through that fix and flip. However, it is done. It's bless and release, and just be happy that I got through that learning experience. But in the meantime, I was busy with my fix and flip, and I came across Pace Morby's Gator, like a 3-day Gator training thing. So I jumped in and thought, oh, this looks interesting. I could be a lender. And so that was late 23 is when I joined Gator. And I have done some lending. I actually have a couple short-term transactional loans out right now, and I have a longer-term PML. In spring of 2024, I went to Squat Up Summit, my first event. Only been in the community 6 months, but he talked about Owners Club, and I need to be in that room. Same thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I just jumped in. I didn't know what I was signing up for, but I just knew I wanted it. It's crazy.
Me too.
Yeah. So at that time, I was actually wholesaling as well. So, I'll say not very successfully, but after joining Owners Club, I definitely pivoted. And you meet people and you hear other experiences and other interests come up, and it's like one thing that Pace says is it's okay to have a little shiny object syndrome, because if you don't try different things, how do you know what you like and don't like? And man, hearing that made my heart feel so much at peace, because I have done a lot of different things. But he's right. Yeah. Like, I know fix and flip is not for me, and I know wholesaling is not for me. My passion and my love today is multifamily, and that is my Mount Everest. So we're doing hotel conversions to workforce housing, creating beautiful residences that didn't exist before. So primarily looking at hotels that have already kitchens in them. So like a Marriott, Residence Inn, Extended Stay America, like those types of hotels are already set up for pretty seamless conversion. A little bit of construction will be maybe some fresh paint, some carpet, things like that, maintenance. However, I am closing on a property in Florida next month. It's 120 keys. It's an extended stay, and it'll be converted. And it's in a very population dense, touristy area. So what I love about this is the people that work in that area, the service workers in that area, restaurants, bartenders, all the clerks, grocery stores, they have to live an hour away from there to be able to afford to live there. And then they have to commute back and forth. Well, this puts the potential for their residents to be right there. They can maybe walk to work and, have the luxury of just being close to where they work and live.
Well, that's why I started affordable housing, because I get tired of everyone complaining. In the valley that I live, people are driving an hour and a half one way because they can't live where they work. And it's just, there's something really wrong with that. And people who have lived here for 30 years are moving away. I'm like, where are you going? All your friends are here. It's just, well, I can't work 3 jobs. I'm older and I can't afford to stay here. So that's exactly why I got started.
Yeah. And it's very similar. I live in the Bay Area in California, near other side of the bay from San Francisco. And it's the same story, even though it's not a tourist destination. I mean, all of our kids and everybody of their generation is leaving because they can't afford to live here. And the diversity that's what's made the Bay Area really special to many of us is just fading because the people who don't have a lot of money just can't stay here. So the whole idea of affordable housing and using what's already here to make it things affordable, because similar to what you're talking about with the hotel conversion, there's things that are being used so that they benefit people who are from out of the area rather than making the area an affordable destination for people to live. And it's using what's already there in a different way that makes it possible to make it affordable. Because if you're getting to a property in our situation where there's land that is not being used, then you don't have a land cost, so that brings the cost down. If you use prefab manufactured housing, the way all the major developers are now, and we do that brings the cost down. So what you're doing makes total sense to me.
Yeah, it's really been fun. So the real fun gets to start next month, though, at closing. So I'm doing a lot of the pre-work right now. And that involves the city, checking into their zoning to ensure that I'm going to be allowed to do this. And what's really exciting is because it is affordable housing, because it is workforce housing, the state has implemented certain governing rules around this that are allowing us to do this pretty seamlessly. So
that's fantastic.
That's similar too for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's our goal is to do 200 units throughout the U.S. in the next 4 years.
Oh, wonderful.
So we should figure out how to work together, because it sounds like very similar alignment.
Yeah, my Mount Everest is 250 families placed in workforce housing over the next 5 years.
Right. There you go.
So that is my Mount Everest. However, I would be remiss in not mentioning that I am also a Sherpa on another team for their Mount Everest, which is bytherate.com. It is sub-2 wraps that don't cash flow, right? So our investors like those long-term rental cash flowing sub-2s. However, we have a lot of sellers that need help with their house. We can sub-2 it, we can wrap it, but an investor isn't interested because it doesn't cash flow. Right. Well, we can help break the cycle of rent by bringing buyers that wouldn't normally be able to qualify for by traditional loan standards. We can bring them into this sub-2 wrap, and they have the monthly, and many of them have some money tucked away to pay the entry fee. What I love about this project and this Mount Everest, which got me so excited to be a Sherpa for them, is that they added an education component to it.
Nice.
So think about the very first time someone said to you, "Oh, creative finance." What? Like, what does that even mean? So taking these buyers who don't maybe have the financial literacy or the creative finance literacy and taking them through an education process and teaching them. So what is a sub-2? what is a wrap? How am I
Yeah.
able to qualify for this property? It just seems crazy. Like, what?
Mm.
How did I get this house, this beautiful house?
Wow.
And then also, how can I lose this house if I'm not responsible with the payments and not responsible to the seller, right? That's our concern. We make sure that everybody is doubly insured and confirmed and wrapped and contracted to ensure that the seller is well cared for, the buyer is well cared for, and they understand what they're doing and what to do next. So I just thought that was so beautiful, right?
So let me ask a question about that. So this is not a lease option. You're getting out of the deal once you have assured everybody's safe with each other. Then you get out of the deal and you get paid whatever you get paid. You don't stay in it long term.
We are in it long term. It's not a lease option. It's actually they're buying it. So we sub to it, we wrap it, and they pay, but we own the property, but we wrap it and sell it to the buyer.
Okay.
So they're not leasing it from us with an option to buy. They're actually buying it from us.
Okay.
So we have a portfolio of homes that we have those buyers in our homes.
That's great.
Wow. And the next step, if you don't mind me plugging, would be if you find a property that has extra space, that's where we could come in and they could double their income.
Absolutely. Because
bringing in an ADU in the backyard.
Absolutely. California is one of the states that we're working in. We actually have, we do it nationwide, but obviously there's always states that have more inventory, right? So we're really heavy in the Carolinas, Texas, California, Florida is a really popular area as well. So, but we can do this nationwide. So if there's a seller out there that maybe they have low equity, that is where we focus, is low equity. We go direct to agent. We pay our agents. If you're a real estate agent listening to this, we would love to work with you. We can help your sellers. They have low equity in their home. You know that they're either bringing cash to close or just breaking even. You know, if that house is not selling, bring that house to us. Let us help you. Let us help your seller. We pay our agents. We make sure that everybody wins in this transaction. We want to collaborate and do 1,000 deals with agents. We don't want, just one and done. What fun is that? That doesn't help anybody.
Exactly.
So, similarly, we also do work direct to agent on properties where there are many, many buyers who don't have the cash flow to make the monthly payments because they're so high because the properties cost so much here. But if you put an ADU on the house, we only look at places or help people put in ADUs where there's going to be at least $150,000 spread between the cost of building the ADU and the increased value in the property. So that means there's going to be, and the rents here are high too. So the increased rent, and also what people don't realize is if you have a rental property on your property that is a big tax deduction, the combination of those can help many people qualify that couldn't otherwise get into a house. So that seems like it's a different door to the same house that you're looking at in a way.
Yeah, 2 doors to the same lot.
Exactly.
I love it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's so impressive. That's really great. Sounds like you're off and running. That's I've had a couple, 5 lifetimes now, and so I understand doing a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. Like there's a saying, the jack of all trades. Oh, and then I just botched it.
Usually say is master of none, but I don't really agree with that.
Right, and there's more to that. Yes, jack of all trades, master of none is better than the master of one. And when you really pick apart what that phrase means, is
I never heard the rest of it.
One is stuck. They're in this rut for their entire life. They can't do anything else, right?
Yeah.
But a jack of all trades, like Pace, is the OG jack of all trades. All the different things that he has his hands in. He's so innovative, looking at the next thing, right? He's 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road. And so for him, it's like, he, disperse, jack of all trades, be a jack of all
Right.
trades. How valuable
Right.
does that make you to your community, to your neighbor, to your family, when you
Right.
have the ability to pivot and do different things and you have knowledge behind those different things? It's really a
Right.
blessing.
It's part of what
Yeah.
makes Owners Club so exciting is because he's attracted people like that to form a communities. And here we are, and everybody has the same heart to be helpful to each other,
Yes.
but to the society as a whole. So it's just a great place to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad I jumped on that train too. It was a big leap, huge leap. Like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good.
So are
So-
you still doing lending at this point?
I actually do have some loans out right now. I have a
Okay.
couple transactional loans and I have a PML. Yeah. So, and then I'm obviously invested in my own multifamily syndication. I'm working with other people that are also in our syndication. We're actually closing like 10 properties this year. So
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Our 5-year goal is 30 properties.
Wow. Nice.
Are you doing the syndication through fractional or through a different process, or how are you doing that?
No, yeah, our syndication was already up and running when I became a part of it. So we have capital raisers that are bringing investors to the projects. Yeah,
Great.
and we also have a private, what we call an angel lender that's coming in with some big bucks for down payments.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
That's what we need to find. But that's why I started the transactional lending, hoping that when properties do come up, we could use, do both. So it's kind of, but we do have a couple deals now. Judith has one that we'd love to send over to you. It's a 6-month lend, but we can talk about that later. But it sounds like we could work together quite nicely.
yeah. It sounds like a really good fit. I'm looking forward to collaborate.
Yeah, that would be great. So one last question: how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way? Is it
My
Instagram or
right down here on the screen? It's Kathie Sonner. Pretty easy.
Okay.
Also, I have YouTube out where I'm interviewing other OC members. So if you're looking to connect with other Owners Club people, you can see what each one of them are doing. Also, my name, Kathie Sonner, is my YouTube handle as well. You can blink me. My blink is in my both in my YouTube and in my Instagram bios.
Okay, great. And then last question: where do you see your business being in 5 years? What do you hope to accomplish?
Whew. Well, in 5 years,
I know it's a big question.
yeah. In 5 years, having achieved my 250 workforce housing homes, if the ride is as fun as that I think it is, or it's going to be, I'd like to continue doing that. I don't see it as, I get to the top of my Mount Everest. Okay, see ya. It's like, I look back at my, as I mentioned, my studio, like that was such a fun ride. And I would love to do that again. So I see that being kind of my future, is doing more of these after that. Bytherate.com. Oh gosh, 5 years from now, huge portfolio of rental property and thousands of lives changed through that. And again, I don't see myself stopping with that. I'll just keep changing lives, every
Why would you stop?